Hey guys, and welcome to a new series on my channel. Recently I asked you guys whether or not you'd be interested in seeing a palette a day series. A couple of you did say you'd be interested in seeing that series testing all of the indie brand eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, and these are brand new to me. I made it kind of a mission in my personal life to support more independent brands and get more into indie eyeshadow brands. So I have been hauling a bunch. I've got a bunch of different indie brand haul shadow videos on my channel. I think there's 4 installments, and I will be trying to link those in the description box in case you guys are interested in checking them out and you haven't already. But I have 45 palettes that I have not tested, I have not put on my eyes. I have swatched most of these in the haul video, but in these videos I am going to fully swatch all of the palettes before we do one look. Not all of these palettes are still available. I noticed that after hauling them, some of them sell out. That's how indie brand shadows go. But in case some of them do come back in stock, and in case you guys have these palettes in your current collection and are interested in seeing a look, I am going to include all of the palettes that I hauled, regardless of whether or not they are still available. I am just picking the palettes that are really calling to me the day that I come up here to film these videos. And if you are interested in me doing a look with any one of those next, please leave it in the comments below. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe. You guys, let's get into it. Welcome to another spooky themed eyeshadow palette try on for palette a day. I know it's November, but I'm still a little bit behind in some of the palettes that I want to test. I'm starting to feel the pressure a little bit, but there's I think like 2 more that I would consider spooky themed. And then after that, it's pretty much like fall themed palettes. So hopefully I can get through them sometime in the early part of December, but if not, you guys, then I'll just skip ahead to some of the winter themed palettes, or just keep this palette a day series going through 2025. Anyway, on today's agenda is the Rouge Labs Howlin for You palette. I meant to do this before October ended, but I didn't get to. This is still available for sale. They do have this on their website for $34.99, and the outer sleeve is different than the inner packaging, which not a lot of my palettes are. Usually the sleeve is the same as the package itself. This is the only palette that I have purchased from Rouge Labs, and because I've never tried it, I'm not familiar with the formula. Here is the color story. On the website, it does say that it's like a perfectly Halloween themed palette. So that's precisely, I think, what they had in mind when they created this. It is only 8 pans and then 1 sparkle shade in the center, which I don't think I'm gonna use, and probably not something that I would normally reach for on an everyday basis. I don't like too many sparkles. I even have some trouble with foiled shimmers, especially on an everyday basis, just because they're a little bit harder to work with. But as you guys know, we do swatch this out, and we are going to create one look today. So let's get to it. I start from left to right, top to bottom. So the very first shade here is Beast, which is a metallic shade. And because this is still available for sale, I can tell you guys what it is described as on the website. And this one is described as a metallic chocolate in the shade Beast. I just had a spider and a web temporary tattoo on this hand right here that I just had to scrub off, that was still like there from, I think this was from Halloween. Someone at the office put it on me. I have swatched this, and I think I've even swatched the glitter shade too in one of my haul videos. This one is Electrode, which is a matte marigold. These are pretty. Like, this is more like a satin shimmer, and then this one is actually really nice. Like, the one swatch was really nice. And then Abyss is another metallic. Again, these are satins, right? Like what I consider a satin, because they just don't have a lot of light reflection. It's Abyss Metallic Forest is what it's called. I like shades like this. I also like shades that have light reflection, and you don't get that with this palette. These aren't multi-chromes or duochromes or anything. Laboratory is a matte chartreuse, is what this is described as. They do have really good swatching ability. This Ghosted is called a multi-chrome glitter. There it is there. It is multicolored. I don't think I want to use that one today. It just doesn't have like the great stickiness that some glitters do, that really just keep the glitters densely packed and then they stick to your eyes really well. That one's a little bit more loose, and so something I definitely want to use a glitter glue with, and I don't think we wanna, but we might, who knows. And this one is Zoinks, which is a matte pumpkin shade is what they call this, and actually quite different than the other orange that's up here that has more yellow in it. The next one is called Shriek. It's a metallic squash. I love when they give descriptive names like that. Ooh, that one was a lot smoother than the other 2. It just glided right on. Glided, is that right? All right, next one is Menace, which is a matte mulberry. There it is there. That one's a little bit more desaturated, not as intense as it looks like in the pan. And this next one and last one is Illusion, a metallic wisteria. This one feels more like the other 2, which has a little bit more stick-to-itiveness, is more like a satin. And there's the full color story there. This is definitely a palette that even if it wasn't Howlin for you and Halloween themed, it's still a color story that you could wear in fall, I think. All right, I think I already have an idea of what I want to do. An orange and purple look. So I think that's what we're going for today. I think I'm going to try a halo eye so that I can do something a little bit different than what I usually do. Okay, I have zoomed you guys in. This is what we are going to do today. I think I'm going to start with Menace right here, and I'm going to go into the outer corners on either side. I'm gonna fade it with Electrode. I'm gonna use this shimmer in the middle, and that's pretty much it. We'll see if I end up using the glitter, just depending upon how impactful that Shriek shade is, which is that orange shimmer that we're gonna use predominantly in the center of the lid. So right now I'm just grabbing this is a shimmer brush because I want to get pretty precise like in the inner corner right here. And I don't even think I want to take it that high. And that's pretty much it. And I don't even think we're gonna do lashes today. I think I'm gonna try and rock my natural lashes and we'll see how that goes. That is literally pretty much it. And then I am going to do the same thing like in the outer corner out here. Again, I don't think I'm taking it like too high, but I do want to like wing it out. Same thing over here. My problem is always getting things even. Getting both sides to look the same. It is literally always my issue. Plus, I don't think my eyes are perfectly even, so I'm actually going to take this same exact brush and just flip it over to go into Electrode next and fade these two colors in. It might not show up too much, but I am going to use it kind of in the crease too. So you'll see it there, but I am gonna lay like the shimmer over this. I just kind of want to fade these two colors in together. So I'm kind of putting it like right on top of it, just the edge of this purple. So far, everything is like really blending nicely. Like these shades are perfectly pigmented, not too much. They blend really nice, blending nicely together. I think I took this other purple a little too far in. Okay, I actually think that's somewhat decent. I am gonna take a fluffier brush to go into the crease because if I do not, everything is gonna be on my lid and it won't show up too much, but I'm not gonna go too high. Is this hard panning? This better not be hard panning. Going back into that Electrode shade and lightly buffing up here. I don't wanna do too much, just lightly, just around the edges. Like that might be it. That's all I think I wanna do. Same thing on this side. Okay, now for the shimmer. I'm gonna take Shriek, which is the orange metallic, and press it in the center of the lid. Ooh, this is actually a really nice shimmer. It's that kind that really sticks and you don't get a lot of fallout, but you can kind of control how intense it goes. Sometimes, you know, you can't, especially for a halo eye. I think you definitely want to kind of fade it above the crease and then get more intense on the lid. A little bit more of Electrode, which is that orange shade just right here in the center. Also a little bit more of Electrode on my little tiny packer brush, just on the edges. I actually think I'm gonna go back into that purple just a little bit, Menace, kind of right here, and marry these two shades together a little bit more. Like I'm using the slightest hand. I'm not even sure it's doing anything. It's just making me feel better. Okay, I do want to cut my edges out because I think these wings are a little bit low. And then I want to see what that does. If we need to add any more or not. I think we do. On the right side, we need to add a little bit more because my wing is farther out on this side than the other side. I'm thinking it looks pretty simple, but like, you know, it's a decent halo eye. It's just not super high above my crease. I'm gonna leave it here for the moment. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup and put some mascara on to see if I want to change like the purple in the outer corner or even bring in like the halo up higher. Just can't really see it when it's just on my lid itself because of my hooded eyes. So let me go do that and then we'll be right back and we'll decide if we're gonna change it. We're back, you guys, and I did take it a little bit higher. Just because I have such hooded eyes, keeping it on the lower lid was, you couldn't even see it with my eyes open. So I took a super fluffy brush, like super duper fluffy, and I like barely tapped into the purple and just kind of pushed it up a little bit higher on either side. On the inner corner, like barely. And then the outer corner, I did add like a little bit more. I think that was the trick. I really think it needed to go higher. I'm so enjoying this look in the eyeshadow that I'm tempted to not do the lower lash line, but I think I need to. So I am gonna use my purple. This is a multi-chrome from ColourPop, and I never know what shade this is in because it's all gone, but I use these all the time. I need to get more matte colorful liners is what I need, because this one, it also shifts like green, so it's not exactly what I'm looking for today. Although these are fantastic waterline liners. Actually, it also shifts a little bit orange too, so no, it came out perfect. All right, I'm gonna take the Electrode shade really tight to my lash line, and then I think I'm gonna smoke it out with this shade. I'm just gonna keep it cohesive. I don't wanna add any different colors. I thought about like using a green on the lower lash line, but I changed my mind. I'm changing my mind again. I'm gonna take that purple shade Menace super close to the lash line and smoke it out with the Electrode shade. All right, now going into Electrode and smoking it out just a little bit. Might not even make that much of a difference because I'm kind of going in pretty lightly. I like you. I like you a lot. Okay. Maybelline Sky High on the lower lash line. All right, everything is done. I really loved the way this turned out. It is a bit different than what I normally do, and I'm loving it. I'm gonna try and get way more creative with these palettes because a lot of these have a lot more potential than just smoking out the outer corner and putting the shimmer all over like I normally do. I think the quality of this was really good. You know, when you're fading two colors in, sometimes they're so pigmented that it doesn't work out the way that you want it to. One more touch, you guys, just one more thing. I'm gonna take that Shriek shade in the inner corner. Because it's not sparkly, it's like a satin. It can work, I think, as an inner corner shade pretty well. And I'm not going in super heavy, just a little bit. Okay, that's good. And even though these weren't foiled multi-chromes or like special shades, I still really enjoyed them. The quality of what they are was really good. I think though this is pretty much an 8-pan palette for me. I don't think I'm gonna be reaching for the Ghosted sparkle shade in the middle. I really enjoyed this way more than I thought I would. I think the look came out really nice. Like overall, I think the quality of this is really good. I think it's probably a little bit of a high price point for a palette of this size and for what these shimmers are. They're not like super foily metallics, but they're like satin metallics is kind of what I call them. But for an indie brand, the look of the palette was pretty. It's kind of in like this sparkly case. It does come with a mirror and a sleeve and all the good things. I actually really enjoyed this. You know, you don't always know like what the quality is going to be from these indie brands when you do try them. You know, for me, it's kind of a hit or miss. It's just a preference thing. And so something like this is definitely different than what I would normally reach for. There's a lot of indie brands that do a lot of multi-chromes, duochromes, and flaky shades. And I think that's kind of what I look for when I look at indie brands, is because that's what they usually excel at. But it didn't have to be that. This just was really nice. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this. The quality of this was fabulous. The matte shades are spectacular. The way that they blend together, fabulous. Like that made this whole look, in my personal opinion. I would totally buy more palettes from this brand and color stories that I liked. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on today's video and this brand if you've tried it in the past. I know one of you has made a request on the Okavanga palette from Nomad Cosmetics, but I'm still trying to get through my fall themed and spooky themed palettes. So I do hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. It's not like a super popular series on my channel, not the way that the Foundation a Day one ended up being. But for those of you who do watch, I really appreciate you guys tuning in at me having a little bit of fun with the indie brand eyeshadow palettes that I have hauled. If you guys are not currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe. I'm out of here, you guys, and I hope to catch y'all in my next video. Bye.